Hi there. Let's go over this distributed payment processing system project. So the main objectives of this project are understanding how a relational database like CockroachDB, which is distributed in nature, handles transactions and query processing. So let's go over these modules one by one. So let me quickly show you the users. So initially we have a couple of users. Each user starts with a balance of $1,000 in their account. And as you can see, these users are spread across Asia, US, and Europe, right? Let me quickly go over the architecture. So we have three regions, Europe, Asia, and US, and we have three nodes in each region. Each node in each region is a replica of one another. That means EU1 is a replica of EU2, and same for EU3. These three are the same. But the data in Europe is present only in Europe, nowhere else, and same for other regions. So this is achieved by CockroachDB's zone configurations. All right, let's go over concurrent transactions. So as you can see, here are two forms, one for transaction 1 and one for transaction 2. So just to save our time, I've already filled these forms out. So let's say in this first transaction, Alice wants to send Bob $300, and in this second transaction, Alice wants to send Charlie $800. So what happens when I hit submit transactions? So one function is called twice, once with transaction 1 details and once with transaction 2's details. And we claim that these transactions will be concurrent. Why? Because the front end is built in JavaScript, and JavaScript is an asynchronous language, which means when I call these functions back to back, the function calls will not wait for first function to finish to start the second one. They'll be concurrent. So now Alice wants to send Bob 300 and here to Charlie 800. So the total is 1100, but Alice does not have 1100 in her bank account. She has only $1,000. So one of these transactions should fail ideally. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna take help of the network tab of the developer tools here. So let's see what happens when I say submit transactions. So our UI is not able to display it, but I'll show you here. So let's see. So this one transaction looks like it went through. All right. So which transaction was this? Let's check the payload. This was Alice to Bob 300. So that means the first transaction did go through. We have got a response, transaction processed successfully. The second transaction is Alice to Charlie 800. So that's the second one. And we have got a response, error processing transaction because of insufficient balance. All right. Thank you. Now let's go over the query processing module. So what happens here is when I select, let's say, US, this query runs in the background, select star from users where region equals to US. If I select both US and EU, the regions will be US and EU both. And if I say analyze, we get the analysis of this query. So the main things to note here are the regions affected are EU and US. So SQL node affected is N1. So just to show you which node is N1, let me go through architecture. And let me go to query processing again. So let's say US and EU. And if I go here, the SQL node affected is N1. N1 is EU1. So EU1 is the node through which our backend connects to the entire database. So that's why EU1 is affected. If I select only US, then also SQL node affected will be N1. All right. Now the main thing to note here is KV node. So that means key value node. This is the node that actually fetches the data from the database. So the key value node affected is only N5. So we can see N5 node number 5 is US1, and which data do we want? Only US. Let's check for just Asia. So the key value node affected here is N8. So node 8 is Asia, and we want Asia's data. And also the partition spanned is only Asia. So let's now check for all three regions. You can see the execution time also increased. The regions affected are all three. SQL node affected is only one because N1, that is EU1, that's where we are connected from. And KB nodes affected are N5, N6 and N8. So they should belong to all the regions. So N5 is in US, N6 is in EU, and N8 is in Asia. And regions of spans are Asia, EU and US. Thank you.